Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mpilo Tabete. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This series will be basically documenting my journey as a final year student at Boston Media House. So, one of the subjects that I did this year was experiential learning. So, I was quite excited to do experiential learning because I enrolled in Boston in around 2021. And throughout my educational journey, I heard a lot of students recommend and speak about what experiential learning is. So, when I got to my third year, I was quite excited to find out what is experiential learning because a lot of students raved about the course. I think that was probably one of the most popular courses, and I think what made experiential learning quite an interesting course was that you actually went out into the real world and you actually did real life learning. You know what I mean? So I think for me, as a media student, getting that real practical experience was probably like the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway from the course because I think it's one thing just reading the textbook, but actually living and breathing what I studied is next level. So I think experiential learning was probably the best thing that I ever did. And one of the lessons I really took away from experiential learning was writing and writing emails to my future employers because I remember there was a class we did as an exercise where we had to draft out a whole plan of how you're gonna structure your email to these corporate companies or the business I want to work at because I think a lot of students kind of don't understand that writing and how you present yourself to your employer is very important. And for me, it was amazing. And that day, I think because I'm a very creative person, I love brainstorming ideas. I love coming up with concepts. So that idea of me writing my own script, doing X, Y, and Z, that was probably the best thing. And even on my experiential learning journey, that was like amazing, because working at the company that I worked at, I learned a lot. Like being having to wake up early, having to be professional every day, having to keep time because that's one of the things you have to keep time. You have to make sure that you do not make other people late, and you have to show up every single day. You can't come here half-heartedly. You have to make sure I'm a team player. I communicate effectively and I problem solve because those are my strengths. So that's one thing I learned, and I would also advise other institutions to kind of do this for their students. I think it's probably the best thing that you have to do. And one thing I like that Boston made us outsource our own jobs, and I think me going to outsource my own job was important because people want to be handed the opportunity, but they don't understand when you actually leave this Boston, you actually have to find your own job. So me going out to go find my own experiential learning kind of gave me a practice run of how it is to be in the actual workplace because no one's gonna hand you a job. You actually have to go out and find employment at whatever company you're gonna go to. You know what I mean? So experiential learning for me was a 10 out of 10. I really do recommend that. I really do believe that Boston is probably ahead of the game. I think Boston is next level in terms of offering real life scenarios of the workplace, and I would really recommend it for everybody. So I thank my academic manager, my lecturer, my fellow classmates, and my fellow peers who are going to be working in the same companies because as much as the media space is big, it's also small at the same time. So all these lessons I'm going to take into the real life and can't wait for everything. So shout out to you guys for watching my YouTube video. Stay tuned for episode 2. I recorded a interview with my line manager that I worked with. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much.